Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
If you're traveling from here to here, public transportation options are basically a rock. But if you're starting in Provo, you have access to the UVX, Utah Valley Express, the Bus Rapid Transit Line, or BRT, or BIRD for short. That goes to downtown, main public areas, BYU, and UVU. You can also take the bus to most other places in the city, including the FrontRunner station. Many adults depend on the FrontRunner as their main transportation to and from work. It runs from Provo to Ogden with stops to most large cities, including Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City has some of the best public transportation in Utah with their buses, Trax line, or if you really don't want to be late, you can ride one of these. Pretty much only got one speed. Seen these easily go through a family of 4 at 25 miles an hour. But what really connects all these cities together is the FrontRunner. In order to really understand the quality of the FrontRunner, I asked commuters questions on the FrontRunner's safety, cleanliness, or if it had any possible delays, and just their general opinion.
I used to live in New York.
What's the biggest difference you see between a city like New York with public transportation to Utah?
They have a train or a bus to take you anywhere. It goes like from all the East Coast and cities.
Go to like your grandma's house.
Queen, and then go to up.
I use the public transport back at home in the UK. In Utah, it's probably better than it is at home. At home, far more expensive. So an hour's train from Salt Lake Central to Orem, where I am, that's what, $5.50, something like that. Whereas back at home, that would cost you probably around $40.
From where? Holland. How do you find the public transportation? Do you take it often or not really?
Yeah, very often, every weekend. I'll go anywhere in the world and it's much better than America.
We moved here from the Bay Area like 3 years ago. And so we would take, all sorts of public transportation in the Bay.
Yeah.
The BART train and AC Transit buses. I haven't really taken the
right.
buses. Actually, no, tracks we've taken in Salt Lake.
Yeah, we've taken the tracks.
FrontRunner is in better condition than BART trains.
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
I feel like the price might be similar, although I think I've heard that BART trains are more expensive now. The FrontRunner is always in good condition. There's Wi-Fi. BART train doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Right.
So I would say FrontRunner is probably more pleasant.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can see like a pigeon or like a rat taking the subway, you know? But what about in Utah? How clean is it?
I would say pretty clean, more clean than New York. Yeah. And doesn't have the smell.
FrontRunner's pretty clean. Some of the buses I find can be hit and miss, but not like exceedingly dirty, but like you'll walk in and there'll be bits of trash here and there, and sort of maybe something that they'll sort out at the end of the line or something. But but yeah, FrontRunner's been fine. Buses and stuff.
Yeah.
Hit and miss.
Have you ever had anything crazy happen on the train or anything that made you feel unsafe at all? Or?
No, like one time the train broke down on the longest part of the tracks. And the people next to me were very nice and we chatted and we had like 2 hours of just chatting with each other. So it was actually quite nice. Somebody else there was going crazy and saying, "Oh, Mo, I'm missing my appointment," and so he didn't like it.
I would say it's fairly safe.
FrontRunner is always chill.
Yeah.
If anything out of the ordinary would happen here, it would probably be on tracks in Salt Lake.
I haven't had anything crazy happen really. I felt pretty safe. Even like traveling in the evening's been pretty good. I think
fairly safe.
Pretty safe, I'd say. Obviously, I can only speak from my experience. I don't know why everyone else is fine. Yeah.
It depends of the hour. It was a Saturday night in Salt Lake City. A lot of, I think, homeless people just got inside, and I didn't feel safe. So I went upstairs, but then they followed, and they were just hanging around, so I didn't feel safe. But overall, I think it's pretty safe, yeah.
Have you guys experienced any kind of delays?
I'd say especially the tracks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the app will say like a certain time and it won't come until like 10 minutes after.
Yeah.
I've experienced that with tracks. With FrontRunner, not so much. I'd say max like 4 minutes, 5 minutes delays.
It's pretty reliable. But then when the first snow falls, then it's not so reliable.
Yeah.
But usually very reliable.
I found that the actual times for like buses and trains are far more reliable than they are at home.
Yeah, so one time I was texting my boyfriend and was like, 5:20, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss the front runner. Like, no, you still have 2 minutes. So I was just running, and it's always on time.
It's always on time.
Yeah.
What do you think Utah needs to kind of step up to be a little bit better in public transportation?
I don't know, there may be no solution because people like their car, but it is also true that if transportation was better, less people would take a car. It can always be improved, right? Because this is just one line going between north and south.
Right.
And maybe we need more east and west, but there are not so many people living there.
It's a great option to get to Salt Lake.
Yeah, traffic-wise.
You still have to take the bus once you get into Salt Lake to really get into the downtown,
Right.
which is a downside. That it doesn't just drop you off right
there.
It's not really walking distance to get to downtown.
No, not really.
Buses are very limited. I go to school up in Salt Lake, and when I didn't have a car, I used to wake up like 2 hours before when class started to go catch a bus, and then catch the front runner, and then walk like 20 minutes.
Most places that I've had to stop, I've only had like a 10-minute walk to where the actual, the stop from the stop to where I need to go max, really.
I think the biggest con is that the front runner doesn't run on Sundays.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It's a big one.
That's a big con. But the pro is the maintenance. It's a good train ride. Cool views
Yeah.
outside the window. And they run pretty late too. I mean, if you're out clubbing till the morning, you won't catch it. But like, if you're just going out in the city for dinner, last front runner is usually like 11 going all the way back, and that's a pro.
Biggest pro is dodging the traffic coming up from Utah County to Salt Lake. Biggest con is how infrequent they come, especially on weekends. They're only every hour.
In more time, but I think it would be better or nicer if it was 15 minutes.
And then it is every half an hour. On Saturday, only once an hour. So yeah, if it was more frequent, that would be
Nicer.
Yeah, the frequency, that's maybe the main thing.
It's clear that the frequency of trains has been an issue for FrontRunner, which is why UDOT and UTA have partnered on the FrontRunner 2X project. So I met with Brian Allen, the 2X project manager, in order to see the efforts being made to address this issue. And for some reason, the screen recording got corrupted, so unfortunately I just had to use the second angle I have for the interview.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with me too. I like this project, so I'm always happy to talk about it. So FrontRunner right now runs from Ogden to Provo, right? It has a limited capacity of trains, mainly because the tracks are mostly single track. So in order for trains to pass each other, there has to be 2 tracks, and there's only, it's really like 25% of the alignment has 2 tracks or double track. So in order to add more trains, make it more convenient, add more capacity, you have to add the track in order for the trains to pass each other. So FrontRunner 2X is really about doubling the capacity of FrontRunner, or doubling the amount of double track. So what that allows us to do is cut the headways in half. So in the peak hour, you'll be able to get on a train every 15 minutes. In the off-peak hour, you'll be able to get on a train every 30 minutes. That makes transit more convenient, makes it a lot easier to ride, but also increases the capacity. A lot of the FrontRunner trains are currently full, so adding more trains more frequently provides better connections to the light rail that runs every 15 minutes, makes it easier to get from your origin to destination quicker, easier, more convenient.
And as the population in Utah grows, the public transit does so as well. And if you're a Utah commuter, please let me know what your thoughts are on the FrontRunner in the comments below.